you think that the WNBA will be able to compete with the NBA?
Oh, brother.
Jimmy Butler runs the East. Jimmy Butler is the East. Everything you think about the Eastern Conference is Jimmy fucking Butler.
Damian Lillard is old, washed. He don't need that. The last time the 76ers were better than the Celtics was when Allen Iverson was on the team. Let's just be honest.
That was 4.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm thoroughly convinced DeAndre Ayton hated Devin Booker in the Phoenix Suns.
I might say Drew Holiday might be a Giannis merchant. I might say
What? What does that even mean? Welcome back to another episode of Hard in the Paint. Before we do anything, make sure you like and subscribe. You feel me? Basketball is almost fucking back. ISO, this is the segment where I go one-on-one. Listen, Giannis and Dame became the super team they never wanted to be. Dame, you may say, whoa, he got traded. Yeah, but he forced his way out, right? He realized that that organization wasn't doing enough for him to fucking win. So he had to go somewhere else to team up with a different player so he can go and get that title, right? You might say, Giannis, oh, well, he didn't go anywhere, but he went in front of the whole fucking world and started saying that he needs more players or he might go somewhere else. You know why? Because he realized that the GMs weren't doing enough for him and he needs to win. Mind you, Giannis won with not the same exact team, but to a similar team, and still he wanted to get more players in free agency and build on top of that. I'm just saying, I see your bullshit and I see through your motherfucking eyes. NBA season is almost here. Get in on the action early with the Novig Sports Betting Championship sponsored by OddsJams. You can win part of the $25,000 in cash prizes. Don't miss out. Sign up now at novig.us/25kchamp. Around the key, how you doing, gentlemen? Colin, Gio in the fucking building, the usual fucking suspects. And listen, who are the winners or losers of the Dame trade? And honestly, it is the Miami fucking Heat. They didn't get fucking Damian Lillard, and that was the guy they were supposed to fucking get the whole fucking time. There's no way the Bucks lost because they got a superstar player to pair up with Giannis. Great. Mazel tov. But then if you look at the fucking Portland Trailblazers, they got the pieces and the players to build around Scoot Henderson, and they can be a really good fucking team down the line. So everybody won in that trade. But the Miami fucking Heat, Pat Riley, count your fucking days, because what you did to Jimmy Butler is a fucking crime on humanity. That man needs help. Bam needs help, and fucking Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero isn't. Yes, Tyler Hero, you beat the fucking allegations. You didn't get fucking traded. But listen up, motherfucker. Your time is coming because there's somebody that we have in mind. But we're going to leave it to that.
You're wrong. The Miami Heat won. They won the trade. You want to know why? Because Damian Lillard, he's old. He's washed. He don't need that. They don't need another old guy that's just going to demand money and then leave after a little bit. We don't need an old guy. They don't need it. It's over. The Bucks, they got the walkers coming out. They're going to get the special ramp for him, the chair that goes up. The Heat don't need that.
That's such a fucking hater comment because you didn't get fucking Dame. Like,
absolutely. I'm hater, number one.
But you should be blaming that, oh, fuck, that's your GM, the godfather of basketball.
I clock into the hater building 9 to 5. That's my hating hours. That's my full-time gig. This is a side thing for me. This is how I make money. But my full-time job is being a hater. But my biggest loser for the trade has nothing to do with the Portland Trailblazers, has nothing to do with the Milwaukee Bucks. It's the Boston Celtics. Believe it or not. Hear me out. Hear me out. I know it's crazy. It's crazy. I get it.
Never let Gio cook again.
Listen, Robert Williams is a key piece for the Boston Celtics. Every Celtics fan that I've talked to, that I know, that I see online, they love Robert Williams. When he's fully healthy, he is a menace on the floor. He's a defensive presence, down low, on the glasses, and now he's gone. Malcolm Brogdon, yes. Injuries have been an issue with him, but he still won 6th Man of the Year. Was still a key piece off that bench. Now he's gone too.
Fucking Brogdon. You hear
he's
this
still
guy?
It's still good. So you upgrade. So you change all that. Then you trade other key pieces. You trade draft picks for basically a 35-year-old Drew Holiday, who it's good, but he's on the down curve of things. And I might say Drew Holiday might be a Giannis merchant. I might say that. I might say that. And
what does that even mean?
Kristaps Porzingis, who's got a messed up foot.
All right.
You can't talk about how Porzingis is hurt and act like Malcolm Brogdon. He would be in Memphis right now if he wasn't hurt. That was good that they got rid of him for as good of a player as he is. The biggest losers are any team that's contending in the East that isn't the Bucks and the Celtics. The Celtics have to be winners. Their odds to win a chip increase. That's just math right there. I think if you're trying to win now, it sucks because it's a 2-team race and it's the Celtics and the Bucks and it's not close.
All right, it's injury, right? I feel like everything is just injury across the board because if KP stays healthy, that's an extra fucking score right there, right? And obviously he's a 7-1 unicorn or however tall he is, right? And that takes some of the pressure off Jason Tatum. You move Marcus Smart, which is a great player, don't get me wrong, but you still got KP that can add some extra scoring when Jason Tatum's struggling. Marcus Smart, great defensive player, but I'll say KP's better by far.
Oh, yeah.
Holiday's
of course.
better.
And Drew Holiday, and then defensively,
And a
you
good
get
defender.
that same thing back. So you didn't really lose anything. It's just you got a better team, in my opinion.
I think they lost.
Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Al Horford, and Kristaps Porzingis. That's the best five in the league.
Listen, I think Robert Williams could have developed into something huge for the Celtics. They're going to miss that. They're going to miss his big defensive presence. Like, he was a problem on the defensive glass. He was a problem with the blocks and the rebounds.
The Celtics are a team, though, that likes to switch on defense. That's how they're built to switch.
Yeah.
That's why they've had 37-year-old Al Horford still there. Rob Williams is a great drop big, but you get Porzingis at the 5. He can switch. Horford can switch. They're still going to be a stout defensive unit.
Who had the wildest media day quote, right? So I'll give you mine. Fucking Jimmy Butler saying that I'm going to beat Dame, Giannis, and Adrian Griffin on the way to the finals.
I am happy for Dame, but, I'm still going to be me. I'm going to go beat Dame, Giannis, and Adrian Griffin on our way to a title, like I've said every single year. And I mean it this year like I've meant it every other year.
That man cooking up. And the reason why I agree with that shit is because Jimmy Butler runs the East. Jimmy Butler is the East. Everything you think about the Eastern Conference is Jimmy fucking Butler. Listen, there's a guy out there they can go get. They can make sure it stays that fucking way, but I'm not going to say it yet. But listen, I'm going to say it like this, bro. At the end of the day, Giannis went out. He complained to his GM. He cried in front of the fucking media. He did 8 fucking podcasts talking about, I need another fucking player. And they went out and got Dame, right? Because they're scared of what Jimmy Butler is and what he can fucking do. You can say, oh, the Celtics too. The Celtics are cool. But I think that Jimmy Butler scares the shit out of people. Last year, I said, fuck Jimmy Butler. I said, they're the 8th seed. They're not going to beat nobody. You see, they beat Giannis. You see, they beat the Celtics. And I'm a believer again. I'm just saying like that.
That's motherfucking bars right there. You hear that, folks? That's fucking bars. Listen, the Miami Heat run the East. They've been to 3 Eastern Conference Finals in the last 4 years, 2 NBA Finals in the last 4 years as well. Since Jimmy Butler got there, we had the bubble where they went to the NBA Finals, lost to the Lakers. The next year, they got bounced. They got trounced by the Bucks in the first round, and then the Bucks won the NBA Finals. Following year, they lose Game 7 on a Jimmy Butler 3. Eastern Conference Finals to the Celtics. Celtics go to the finals. They run through the East this past year. They go to the NBA Finals against the Denver Nuggets. This is a team that is built to withstand issues. They lost Tyler Hero all playoffs last year, and they still made that big run. So this is a team that could look adversity in the face and say, fuck y'all, we're going to do what we're going to do. And that's what Jimmy Butler is. He's saying, fuck all them, we're going to beat them, because he's done it. I'm all in on emo Jimmy Butler.
Can Jimmy Butler, with this roster right now, beat Giannis and Dame?
No.
There's no chance in hell?
Just look at the roster. There's so much star power. I feel like the Heat let those guys go this summer. They like Gabe Vincent. You're already forgetting how big a part of their playoff run these guys were. They're just gone now, and you expected a star to come in and take that place, and they haven't yet. You can't argue against his track record and the competitiveness and the grit. If anyone can do it, it's Jimmy Butler to just say, like, fuck you, like, I'm winning. But no, come on. I think Dame and Giannis are the best duo in the league, in my opinion.
If Jimmy Butler beat Dame and fucking Giannis with this roster, we can start pulling some cards.
Yeah.
We're going to start pulling, and I think Giannis is the first one to go. Because Giannis cried and said, yo, this is how you do it. You win it the right way.
That Nike ad after he got bounced from the playoffs?
When he was oh, there's no failure or whatever, and they made an ad out of it like 2 days later.
Who fucking who?
He went on like Colbert and was like, you guys are making super teams. Like, why would you do that? That's what you're talking about.
And then he's in the super team right now. So if you lose with a super team, it doesn't matter if you say, oh, you need the third piece. The third piece is Chris Middleton. So you have Dame, Chris Middleton, and Giannis, right? Those are 3 fucking pieces. If you cannot win a championship with that team, after you complain and say you don't like super teams and that is a fraud card. Hey, top 5? Top 5 fraud.
I believe it.
Joel Embiid said, who said the Boston Celtics surpassed us? They've been surpassed y'all. They beat y'all last year, even when you were up. So everybody feels that way about y'all. So don't get it twisted. Like, I don't feel like there's no world where the fucking 76ers will ever win a championship. They're a second-round exit. Your fucking point guard wants to fucking leave. He hates your fucking GM. Down with Daryl Morey. He's in the club popping bottles with I hate Daryl Morey shirts. So it's just like that franchise is over, and it's going to be burnt to the fucking ground now. And I think that they need to blow it up. Joel Embiid, you got to request that trade, buddy. It's not going to happen in Philadelphia.
No one said the Celtics surpassed the 76ers because it hasn't happened. The last time the 76ers were better than the Celtics was when Allen Iverson was on the team. Let's just be honest. Let's be for real.
I was 4.
Yeah, exactly. 20 years ago.
Did you pick your team by then? No, right?
No, no.
All right.
So, like,
Nets were going to the finals, though.
so exactly. What are we talking about? The process is over. Blow it up. Like you said, get rid of everybody except like Tyrese Maxey.
The Sixers is so bad that Collins from PA and he picked the Nets. So I mean, but Cook,
Take that as your will.
You can't argue with that. Sixers will be good because they have Joel Embiid, but they will not be great. They will not be better than the Celtics. I don't even know if they'll be better than the Cavs and the Knicks, depending on what happens with Harden. So we'll see. A couple years are going to go by where they're going to be good, not great, which is the hell of the NBA, and they're going to have to blow it up, I think.
John Collins said, I'm surprised by the lack of egos in Utah.
I'd say the one thing that has surprised me is the lack of ego in here. It's refreshing.
Of course, it's fucking Utah. There's nothing to do in Utah. And that's just my daily slander to Utah because there's only 3 black people in Utah. But my thing is like, all right, Trae Young, we understand, terrible head of hair, and everybody hates him because of that. I love Trae Young. But I think it's not because of just Trae Young. I think when they got Trae Young and they got Murray, I think that was a bad combination. Those are 2 headstrong people. I think it's just been a bad situation all around. And John Collins, fuck Utah.
These are kind of guys that need a fresh start. John Collins is the guy that needs a new team, and I think Utah Jazz, he'll finally strive because with Atlanta, he kind of took a lot of the back seat, and he was in these trade talks, and he just was never solidified there.
But was he really a back seat? Like, you think he's going to be the guy?
I don't think he's going to be the guy, but
he
he'll
won't be forced to take corner threes, which is not his game.
Exactly, and he'll be a valuable piece of that team. That's Colin Sexton, that's Lauri Markkanen, Walker Kessler's there. The Jazz, low-key, could be a solid team.
But of course you're going to be humble. They don't have championships expectations. Did they make the play-in last year?
No, sir.
Did they make the play-in?
No.
Of course they're humble.
Well, we were saying the same stuff last offseason about the Sacramento Kings, and then they went to the 3 seed. I'm not saying they're going to be a 3 seed. However, they're going to be a very solid team in the NBA in the West that could, make some noise. Don't sleep on these Utah Jazz.
I'll say they won't be a team where it's like, oh, we're playing the Jazz tonight. Like, I know they got the rule now, but before they'd be like, we can rest our guys.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do this because I'm not a guy with sources or anything like that. But
Chris Broussard.
I'll tell you guys. Well, no, that's what I'm saying. I don't know how to cue this up or how to say it all, but it is Trae Young, and people can obviously look at me and say, you don't have no fucking sources. And
I got you.
It's only the one that I have right now. But
word in the streets.
Yeah, no, he's talking about Trae Young.
Okay.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. I also think on the court between Trae Young and DeJounte Murray, it's not like the best mesh because DeJounte Murray, he needs the ball in his hands too. And Trae Young is better with it in his hands. So I could see your point, JBobby, about it being Trae Young and DeJounte Murray, but Colin's got sources. Ears on the streets, all right? Through the grapevine.
Harden to the Heat will make the Heat a top 2 contender in the Eastern Conference. Jimmy Butler has never had help. Never. And I'm not saying that, Bam.
How dare you?
I'm talking about that scorer that can relieve the pressure off fucking Jimmy Butler. James Harden would be that. You might say, well, James Harden's not the scorer. He's not. But he can still shoot a fucking 3. He can stretch the fucking defense, and he can facilitate. You have to have some type of player that can do that offensively. So him, Bam, and fucking Jimmy Butler would be a sexy fucking trio, and I think they can wreak havoc in the East. The Celtics upgraded, so you have to upgrade. So if you're not going to upgrade and try to compete with these teams and just run it back with fucking thick booty Kyle Lowry, pause. You got to be honest with yourself, bro. Like, what do you do in that situation? You have a small window here. Jimmy Butler is getting older. That is just the reality of the situation. You have to go and do everything you can in your power to try to win the championship. Even if it does not work. Say if you get to the finals, you can make it again, and somehow you will your way, and Jimmy Butler, whatever you're going to face on that other side of the coin, whether it is Denver, the Lakers, the Suns, or whoever it is, maybe the Kings. Psych. But you're gonna deal with hell, and it's not gonna be enough with just Kyle Lowry and Tyler Hero.
This is just bars after bars after bars after bars that JBobby's spitting. But we talked about this last week with James Harden. But James Harden's game, it's such an interesting evolution from when he was in OKC as like a 6-man type, and then he was in Houston, and he was that guy. He was scoring title winner, MVP winning James Harden. And then he moved to Philly where he kind of had to take a little bit of a backseat and be more of a facilitator. But we saw that he would get bored and annoyed in that role, and then towards the end of the season he'd be like, fuck it, I'm just gonna ball. And that's exactly what the Miami Heat need. The Heat need kind of a main facilitator type player, but at the same time they need someone to also take all the pressure off of Jimmy Butler and be a 35-point, 40-point scorer at any given moment. And that's what James Harden is.
And let's keep it a stack. Anybody over fucking Kyle Lowry's an upgrade.
Yes, and I will take James Harden every single night going, maybe 15 points a night, 16 points a night, 10, 12 assists, and then once a week or once every 2 weeks drops 25 to 40 points. I'm okay with that. And that's what Jimmy Butler needs. That's what Bam Adebayo needs. That's what the team needs. You're going to give up pieces. Not as much as the Dame trade, though, because Damian Lillard is obviously how the NBA views him is a higher caliber player than James Harden. How the NBA currently views him.
Yeah.
You're right. Dame is better, but it's still like if you thought Joe Cronin was stubborn, get ready to meet Daryl Morey, who held Ben Simmons hostage. Some sort of Lowry for Harden deal. Lowry went to Nova. He's a Pennsylvania guy. I know the Sixers wanted him a couple years back, but that was before he fell off like last year. I think there will be interest, but I don't think the Heat have the pieces.
Wait, can we all get Daryl Morey as a Liars shirt and we can just wear it?
I'm okay with that.
Will you be down for that?
I would wear that.
I'm down
Yes.
with that. I'm down with that. But like how a package I view it would be obviously Kyle Lowry, some other pieces. It'd have to be like a 2-3 wing guy to give up those pieces and some draft picks.
Let's give our predictions for awards. We have MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Sixth Man of the Year, and Most Improved Player.
I think NBA MVP this year, it's finally going to happen for Luka. You got to have the narrative there. Kyrie's awesome, but I think people hate Kyrie, so people will be eager to say, oh, it's Luka, and he's like the main guy, and he will be the main guy. But there's a lot of other guys. Giannis has Dame with him now. Who knows? Maybe Embiid could repeat depending on what happens in Harden, but I don't know. It just feels right for Luka to me.
Nah, I feel like they called Embiid's fraud card. So, like, I don't think he's going to get MVP. To me, I think Giannis is going to win MVP. Because I feel like you kind of have to. Last year, that people were campaigning for him to win MVP. So with him and Dame, and they talking about the pick and roll, it's dangerous. So I feel like if that's really the case and they are who they are, I think Giannis is going to win MVP.
Fully healthy season. This team is going to run through the West. My MVP pick is Kevin Durant.
Run through the West.
Yeah, I think the Suns could dominate the West and be the number 1 seed. And if that happens and Kevin Durant's fully healthy, it will be because of him, and he will get that MVP award.
I think they could absolutely run through the West, but it's such a narrative-based award. I don't think they're going to give it to a guy with 2 all-star caliber guards. It's not KD's fault, but it's just how people vote for the award.
For sure, but I think that the narrative you could spin for that is the Suns are finally this dominant team. That's why I'm saying if they dominate the West. If they're a very good team and they're like a 2-3, 4
But you think they're going to
seed,
dominate the West?
I think they could.
How? Explain. They don't have a bench. They don't
Devin
have
Booker,
depth.
Bradley Beal. They have good depth.
Bobo's
they have
fun.
solid
They
depth.
don't have-
Bobo,
they
he's
don't
very
have-
fun. You saw Media Day. You saw how adorable he looked at Media Day. I think that they have it. They have like key depth pieces that people are like low key sleeping on.
No, but I'm saying they're a good team, of course. But like, there's very good teams in the West as well, right?
Yeah, no,
it's
of
going to be
course.
a fucking gauntlet. So
Yeah.
for you to say they run through the West, that's crazy. You got the Denver Nuggets, you can't sleep on them. Obviously, you got the Lakers, you got the Kings, and you got the Golden State Warriors.
Sure.
You thinking that it's just going to be a fucking cakewalk? It's going to be insane. You can't take your fucking minutes restriction and take a day off. Now you got to really go through it. So it is what it is. But all right, we're getting off on a tangent. All right, we're doing Rookie of the Year.
It's going to be Wemby. I'm not going to sit up here and try to say, oh, this guy, that guy. I just think it's going to be the guy who's supposed to be Mr. Universe, all superstar NBA. He's Kevin Durant, but bigger. He's played in the pros. The overseas games is starting to stack up with the college game, with guys going into G League Ignite and stuff like that. I think he's got good experience. It shouldn't be a hot take to say it, but yeah, Wemby for Rookie of the Year.
I'm going with Scoot because I'm anti-European.
Oh my God.
All that world shit, we coming for you in the Olympics. Remember that. Team USA, baby.
I think it's going to be Wemby too. It's just an easy, obvious pick. Maybe ease into the NBA, but towards like back half of the season, he's going to be cruising.
The reason why I picked Scoot is like obviously they got pieces. Obviously he's going to be able to have fun and go off and do what he does. Wemby's going to be in the same position too, but I don't really know what to expect from the Spurs with the Portland Trail Blazers. I think it's going to be fun. Like I really do think it's going to be fun. All right, let's go. Defensive Player of the Year.
He got absolutely snubbed last year of all defensive teams. I'm rolling with my boy Nick Claxton. I'm hoping that the NBA realizes that being a switch big is way harder work than being a drop big. He can guard Trae Young at the 3. He can guard Embiid at the rim. He's that guy.
Good pick, but still Nets propaganda.
I got some Heat propaganda for you. It's Bam Adebayo.
That's not a bad pick. Not a bad pick.
Again, people are sleeping on Bam. This is a guy who could guard the 1 through 5, no problem whatsoever. He could lock down Trae Young at the 3, Giannis at the rim.
Not as well as Claxton. Claxton's skinny fast like that.
All right.
Right?
Listen,
Bam's strong
I got
fast.
some Lakers propaganda for you. You already know what's coming. The most biased show in the world. I got Anthony Davis. We all know what he can do. What he found out in the playoffs kind of clicked for him. And him and LeBron are going to have that synergy. I think there's going to be a lot of fucking blocks. And I think there's a lot of fucking motivation because of what the Nuggets were saying at that parade. So we heard all the talk, and me and Bron couldn't wait. So I think there's going to be him on a vengeance, bro. I was going to go MVP, but I stopped myself there. Sixth man of the year.
I'm rolling with Malik Monk. I thought he had a super underrated Sixth Man of the Year campaign last year. I think the Kings are going to be good. They play fast. So an award that we oftentimes just give to the highest scorer, and the Kings are all about offense.
There's a little bit of a bold take, but I'm going to go Chris Paul. Because I originally
said he's going to start more. I thought about him, and I think he should come off the bench.
He definitely should come off the bench. I wanted to go Emmanuel quickly, but I feel like the Knicks have a lot of key bench pieces that will take away from quickly. The issue with the Golden State Warriors has been their second unit. He's going to be vital in those minutes where Steph is not on the court and there's been minuses. He's going to bring it to a plus, and he's going to be a key piece in the Warriors' success.
I picked Chris Paul, but the problem is that we don't know if he's going to start or not.
Yeah, that's
right. I said he should start, but if he comes off the bench, this fucking hands down, I think he's going to be the sixth man of the year. Leading that unit and getting that pressure off Steph is going to be big for the Golden State Warriors. And I think that's what a lot of people are saying. If he can run that second unit, then the Golden State Warriors are going to be a force to reckon with. Now, if he starts, I don't know how that looks, but now they're just super small. And I don't know if that takes the same pressure off Steph. Yeah, you can fucking screen the shit out of people and get Steph open. That's why I think it will work. But if he does come off the bench, I think it would be Chris Paul.
You don't have to have Steph out there constantly. And same with Clay. If they need breaks, and if you want to save them for the entire season, have Chris Paul just come in. He could play with Klay Thompson. He could play with Steph too. Just don't have him start, because then they'll be super small, and that'll be an issue.
All right, most improved player.
I'm going with Tyrese Maxey. Improved. You need the narrative to be there. Harden's gone. Maxey against the Nets this year, I don't think he missed a fucking shot in the fourth quarter. He's that good that he's on a team I don't necessarily like, but I love him. Maxey's been a good player, but he was a later round pick in the first round. I like him to take the next leap, and I think it's a good story.
I'm going to be on the Nets propaganda right now. It's Mikal Bridges. I think he's going to have a really big year. I think the Nets are going to be sneaky, sneaky good, and it's going to be because of Mikal, and he's going to be running the show. He's going to be the number one option there.
Colin.
I agree with you. My only reasoning against that is that I feel like Mikal already broke out. I feel like he's already seen as
Talk
not
that
a
shit.
superstar.
Talk
but
that shit.
He was second in Defensive Player of the Year a year ago.
Talk that shit.
Averaged 25
He
shots.
hit the shot.
He hit that.
He hit the shot.
There, Team USA.
I'll be here for it, but yeah.
Listen, the most improved player is going to be Jordan Poole. He's going to have the fucking green light in Chocolate City, as Stephen A. Smith would say. It's going to be a lot of women. There's going to be some distraction. But him and Kuzma, I think there's a chip on his back, too, because, one, he got traded, and also with the whole Draymond shit. Iguodala going on a podcast with J.J. Redick and talk about, we had to hold him back because we have Steph, we have Clay, so he can't cook as the same. Because he said he can do the same thing Steph and Clay can do. So if that is true and you have the keys to the franchise, I think there's going to be a massive leap in Jordan Poole's game, and I think he will win most of it. The injury boys, the Western Conference is full of players that are old, broken down, and they don't last a whole season. And just because of that, they changed the rules. So my thing is, which team do you think will stay the healthiest the whole season? The Suns, the Los Angeles Lakers, and the Los Angeles Clippers.
So you got to look at the guys who have been injured on these teams, and it's the Lakers, it's mainly LeBron and AD. The Clippers, it's Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, and then the Suns, KD and Bradley Beal, maybe a little bit of Devin Booker.
Nurkic has been hurt before. He's there now.
I like the Suns. I think the Suns are going to last in terms of health. I like D-Book, and you look at Bill. KD is the one that you're really concerned about. But when you look at the Lakers, you got Bron, who is old, who's had some injuries down the stretch, and we know what AD is. They call him street clothes. We want to see AD play the fucking whole season and be dominant, but we don't know if we're going to get that out of AD. He finished strong, but you can tell by his performance in the playoffs, he was very The Clippers, they're not even going to make it half the season. They're gone.
It might be the Lakers for me with the new rules and the sitting and stuff. LeBron's exempt from that. It's by age. You have to be 35 or older. Or you have to play a certain amount of games, and LeBron's obviously cruise through that. I think LeBron will be fine being able to sit in certain situations. AD, I want to see him on the court more, and I think it could happen. And I think with the bench that they have and the players that they have, especially Austin Reeves, who could take a lot of the pressure off, he's that dude now. Austin Reeves is that motherfucking dude right now. I think the Lakers could do it.
Yeah, I think the Lakers are going to stay healthier than the Suns and the Clippers too, just because if you look at the depth of the Suns and the Clippers, it simply does not stack up to the depth that the Lakers had. The Lakers added Christian Wood. He can take some minutes away from AD. They added Taurean Prince. Austin Reeves is there. They added Cam Reddish. They added Jackson Hayes. They added Gabe Vincent. The Suns, the Clippers, none of these guys added glue guys like that, and a lot of times it's when the minutes start to stack up. These older players get hurt, and the Lakers are best equipped to handle that.
I'm glad we're all in agreement that Kawhi and Paul George are just going to be.
Oh, yeah, they're going to get cooked.
I hope not. I hope
They're
not.
going to get cooked. Listen, man, I'm thoroughly convinced that DeAndre Ayton hated Devin Booker and the Phoenix Suns. And the reason why I say that is because he was so disgruntled being there. And I don't know why, because obviously maybe Monty Williams when he was there, but they had a good organization and they had a good team. Maybe he was playing in a style that he didn't want to play, because when DeAndre Ayton came into the league, people expected him to be a different type of player. And I guess he kind of got reduced to a role where he probably didn't like. I don't know. Maybe I'm just reaching with the Devin Booker thing, but I would say like they would be homies and cool. But you're just like, oh, fuck him. I just want to get the fuck out of here. And when you went to Portland, you're like, yo, I just got drafted again. You know?
I saw Book said some like nice things about DA yesterday, so shout out to him for that. But I think the Suns kind of did DA dirty. He was the first #1 overall pick to not get offered an extension since Anthony Bennett. I don't think he deserves to be in that company. And when he was eligible for that extension, not only did they not pay him, but they traded for Landry Shamet and then extended him. That's disrespectful.
I don't think DeAndre Ayton has any issues with anybody on the Suns, like Devin Booker, like those kinds of guys, like the players on the team. I think it was with the organization, the coaching staff as a whole, because again, you're a #1 pick. You're supposed to be that cornerstone face of the franchise. And I get it, Devin Booker was breaking out.
It's not about building around it. It's just that they didn't put him in the right position.
That's what I
They're
meant.
not going to like stop and say like, yeah, Devin Booker, chill out. Let's give DA the ball. Or when Chris Paul was cooking or when KD came, you're not going to take possessions away from those guys and give them to DA. So it's just an unfortunate situation.
Of course, it is definitely an unfortunate situation. He just was in a role that he didn't like, and he expressed his frustrations, and the Suns were just like, we don't care. And I think he wanted to get traded earlier, right? Like a year ago or so.
He signed a contract with Indiana, if I'm correct.
Yes.
He was a restricted free agent, and then Phoenix matched
and then
it.
he matched it, and then you kept him in hell.
Yeah, that's why. He's probably pissed. He probably would have done really, really well in Indiana.
Well, let's do it one time. They would have been fun.
It would have been fun. It would have been fun.
I guess we'll never know.
Do you think that the WNBA will be able to compete with the NBA?
Oh, brother.
Now, the reason why I said that, the Las Vegas Aces sold out Game 1, Game 2, and Game 5 of the finals, right? And I think that's a big fucking deal. You know, they've been dealing with attendance and they haven't got the proper exposure. Now there's been this push to go watch the WNBA and watch games and support them. They have superstars now. You know, they have household names. You know Asia Wilson. You know that. You know Kelsey Plum. You know these players. The fact that you know those and like they're continuing to grow, and even like the Liberty and like the energy that the city is behind the New York Liberty, I think one day they won't be able to compete with the NBA, but I think that they'll be able to be up there. Just to be nice.
It's really tough to say compete, because like the NBA has been around for almost 100 years. Like we're getting up there. We just passed 75, so they have like the pedigree of the years there and the popularity of the NBA that is now, especially internationally. Whereas the WNBA, it's definitely growing, and it's definitely it's its highest right now. It's becoming more exciting to watch. You're knowing these players more than you would 10 years ago. More people are giving it its flowers, which it deserves its flowers, because it's an exciting game. It's a different game than the NBA. I just don't see it competing with the NBA because of just the pedigree. It's too high of a bar. It's way too high of a bar. They shouldn't be up for competition.
I agree, but the thing is, it's star driven, right?
Yes.
When we think about back in the day, the WNBA, you had Lisa Leslie, like Cheryl Swoops, and those type of names. You look at like Clayton Clark. Or
Caitlin
like
Clark?
Clayton Clark.
And,
I can't say her fucking name. Angel Reese. You have all these girls that are already stars. You know, you already got Zaya Cook in the league. So you got multiple names. So if you keep building on that, I think you will see the WNBA in a different place. And people are excited about that. Something's fresh. It's something new. Not the same NBA when there's no parity. And even though the Aces keep going to the finals.
Yeah. The league just needs to grow and expand, because before the season started, like teams were cutting first-round draft picks.
Yeah, that's not right.
That is
Why
so
are you gonna
unheard
go to the
of.
draft if you're going to lose your job?
Exactly. That's so unheard of across all sports. You don't cut a first-round draft pick. You just don't do it. The popularity's there. Back 10 years ago, we weren't really like knowing names coming out of college, and now it's exciting. The NCAA tournament was electric. It was awesome, and it's going to keep growing like that, especially NIL. It's becoming more and more popular, so there just needs to be more teams in the WNBA. They need to expand more.
I'll end it with this. The NBA season is coming up. I'm glad that you're rocking with us, and I fuck with y'all for rocking with us. This is truly the year of win or bust. 5 teams, right? You have the Suns, Celtics, Lakers, Bucks, Philly. If any of those teams loses, it's going to be fucking chaos on Twitter or just in the NBA community, just in general, because you have so many teams that loaded up. made so many moves in the all season, made super teams. If you look at the Suns, like, can you imagine if the Suns and the Bucks don't get to the finals? Then you have another year of the Celtics where they gave Jaylen Brown the supermax, and then you go and you get Drew Holiday and you go get KP. If the Celtics can't do it now, when can they ever do it? You have another year of Jason Tatum. How will he pan out? Will he struggle in the playoffs, or will he be elite? So if Jason Tatum's elite in the playoffs and goes crazy, how do you stop them? But if Jason Tatum struggles again, what do you do then? Then you got the Phillies. You know they're not winning anything, but it still is Joel Embiid. You have the small window of Tyrese Maxey and James Harden, because James Harden is probably not going to go anywhere. You're probably going to have another year of that. So if you fucking fall and you flat on your face against Philly, what do we do there? What I'm saying is win or bust. It's just going to be fucking straight chaos in the NBA, and I can't wait for the season.
Of those 5 teams, the Celtics are the least of win or bust. The Lakers, it's LeBron. No matter what team LeBron is on, it's always win or bust because it's LeBron, it's the narrative. The Phoenix Suns, it's because they built this big team of Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal. They made all these big trades and stuff. So there's a lot of pressure on them. The Milwaukee Bucks, the biggest conversation all summer was, where is Damian Lillard going to go? And now he's with Milwaukee Bucks, and now it's with Giannis, so he just gets an extra piece there. So now it's win or bust for them. Philly, it's always win or bust because it's Joel Embiid. But Philly's never going to do shit, so it's they fucking suck. But the Celtics, the thing with them is they're a young team. Like, Jason Tatum's young. Jaylen Brown is young. Even though they've been in the league for, it feels like 10 years, they're like under 20, 26, 27. So with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, the Celtics window is always going to be open, whereas with these other teams, their window is closing very quickly, and it's going to be shut soon. If we have the same conversation in a year, then maybe we're getting closer to that winner bust type conversation. But for them, I still give them a little leeway, but the other 4 teams, definitely win or bust.
Yeah, I think the Celtics, this is the best team that they've had under Tatum and Brown, so there's definitely the pressures there because they've never had such a good opportunity to win. But if you go across like the Suns, KD, Book, and Bradley Beal, the Lakers, AD and LeBron, the Bucks, Giannis and Dame, Philly, Embiid and Harden, all those guys, with exception to Booker, are all older than Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Kristaps Porzingis. We don't realize how young Kristaps is because he got hurt. Maybe his career will end earlier because he does get hurt, but not putting as much pressure on the Celtics.
Make sure you like and subscribe, because that's been another episode of Hard in the Paint. We are out of here. Gang. Peace. Does JBobby make you angry? Well, that's good. Let us know in the comments. Like and subscribe, baby.